Hi, I'm Renee, the career coach, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about a topic that can be a little bit tricky, but is crucial and will come up in your job search and especially in interviews. And that is how to talk to a recruiter about your salary expectations when it's clearly already listed in the job description. We'll go over 5 simple tips that can help you really walk through this process and handle it like a pro. And I'll also give you an example that you can use in your next interview when talking about salary in this regard. And stick around to the end because I'm going to be sharing with you 3 mistakes that you can avoid when discussing salary and in this situation. If you're new here, I am a former recruiter and I'm now sharing all the tips and strategies that will really help you confidently navigate your job search and end up in a successful situation where you're landing job offers. So if you like that type of content, if you are a job seeker right now, consider subscribing because I'm posting new videos every week. Step 1 is to do your homework. So obviously you're going into an interview. The salary range has already been listed and you don't want to come off as just, hey, give me the top end of the range, but also who's going to ask for the low end of the range, right? So you want to be able to do your research going into it. So you come with your own information, the research you've done, and this will show the recruiter that 1, you're not just coming in asking for the top end of the range. You've done your research and you're prepared, but also it will give you more confidence in knowing what to ask for within that range. Take stock of the different responsibilities and skills that they're asking for in the job description and kind of align yourself and stack yourself up against those to kind of see where you align. But then also look at different salary reports and Glassdoor, different websites, so you kind of know what else is out there and what's fair in alignment with your skills and your experience. Step number 2, be very transparent. So when the recruiter does ask you what your salary range expectations are, you can just let them know something along the lines of, I saw the salary range was posted from X to Y, and that is in alignment with what I'm looking for. Now, we're going to expand on this a little bit further, but that's a great place to start in just being very transparent, letting them know, hey, I saw what the salary range is, and the reason why we're talking right now is because that's a great starting place and I align with that. Step number 3 though is where we go a little bit deeper, and that is you're going to ask for clarification. This part of the process is crucial because this will really help you understand where they are coming from with their salary range from X to Y, okay? But it's also going to help you come across as aligning yourself with what they're looking for. And it shows that you're not just coming in and saying, well, I saw that this was the range and I want the top end of the range. This shows that you're really wanting to understand more about the position and it just makes you look good altogether. Okay, so this is how you'll handle it. Notice the role is listed with a salary range of X to Y, which is in line with my expectations. Now you're going to say, could you help me understand what factors or qualifications differentiate someone at the low end of the range versus the higher end of the range? I'd love to know more about how my background aligns with the compensation structure. Okay, this lays it out beautifully. It turns it back on the recruiter and allows them to explain to you why they have the range listed in the way that they do, what the top end looks like, and what the low end looks like, and where they would see themselves paying somebody X amount of dollars based on what skills. Now, step number 4 is where you really reel it in here, and that's where you highlight your own skills and value. So you've asked for clarification, the recruiter's given it to you, you understand where the range falls and why. And basically all you're going to say here is, based on what you've shared, I feel like my experience with specific skill or project and my background in relevant experience align well with what you're looking for in a top tier candidate. This reinforces that you're not just looking for the top end of the range, but it shows that you understand the value that you are bringing and how it aligns with exactly what they are looking for, because the recruiter just laid it out to you, what they're looking for and what is needed for them to pay somebody at the top end. And then you just sweep right in and say, hey, look at this. I have the skills you're looking for, and I know that I'm worth the top end of the range. But you don't want to back yourself into a corner, which leads us to step number 5, which is to keep the conversation open. After sharing your thoughts and how you feel like you align within the range, just leave it very open and say, I'm open to discussing further as we progress through the interview process, because my main goal is to ensure the role is a great fit for both of us. This just shows that you are willing to keep the dialogue open and that you're flexible, right? Which always leaves a positive impression. Those 5 steps lay it out very easily for you to follow and to really handle this situation like a pro and leave the recruiter impressed from the beginning. Because typically these questions come up in the first round interview because they don't want to waste your time or theirs. And handling this in such a way that you're showing your value, that you've done your research, you want to understand more about the role, it just makes you look really good. But there are 3 mistakes that I want to make sure you avoid when you do go through this situation. So we'll go through those really quickly and ensure that you do package this perfectly. Number 1, don't ignore the range. Don't go in there pretending like you didn't see it, because this just makes you seem unprepared. So don't ignore it. Don't pretend like you're oblivious to what's going on here. Number 2, also don't undersell yourself. Saying you're happy with the bottom end of the range and that would fit in perfectly, don't do that either. Like, really follow the steps here and do your research. Ask the recruiter what differentiates the top end from the low end, and then really evaluate yourself there and figure out, okay, yeah, I am worth more than the low end of the range. So don't undersell yourself here. And also, number 3, don't overcommit. Don't come in stating a firm number that you're wanting. You see the range is listed from 75 to 85. Don't come in saying, I want $80,000, because that kind of pigeonholes you a little bit. And again, you want to show that flexibility. And this is just the beginning of the interview process. So you don't want to limit your negotiating power later on. So don't overcommit here. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you as you are going into interviews and discussing more about salary. And these days, it's really nice that the salary range is posted more and more, which helps you know that you're not going into a position that may or may not work with you financially. Now, if you're wanting more information about how to handle the salary question overall, or if it's not posted in the job description, then I have a video, and I'll link that down below, on how you can handle the salary negotiation question as a whole. And I give 4 different options that can really help you in answering that question. And the biggest takeaway here is to remember that it's a two-way street. Like, yes, it's important what they're willing to pay, but also remember that it's you showing what your value is and that you're worth the money that you're asking for. Let me know how this works for you and if this was helpful. And of course, make sure to like this video and consider subscribing if you are on the job hunt. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.